Illinois for some 35 years. Find out their services, specials, and coupons by clicking their icon on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
And this is the WTIM Morning Show on your information station. It's sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm Reed Kamai, and for our next conversation, we're checking in with some of the folks at the Christian County Health Department. And I've got with me Joe Torres, the Director of Environmental Health, and Ellen Jackson, the Emergency Response Coordinator. Good morning to the both of you.
Good morning.
It is good to have you in, and got a couple topics that we're going to go through with each of you two. And we're going to start with you, Joe. So you've got a food workshop coming up. Talk a little about that.
So we've been doing this for the past 3 years. We have our workshop that's for retail food establishments, people who are interested in food safety. It's located at the Illinois Extension Office here in Taylorville. And the date is set for Wednesday, April 22nd. So we'll talk, over various topics of like food safety. So we have a number of speakers that will come in. It's a really good event to get caught up. If you're have any questions for the health department, please join us. It is free to join, to come. We just ask that you call in to our health department and register and just tell us that you're going to show up, and then we'll mark you down.
Yeah, and I had read actually a release about the event. I don't have it in front of me, but you had mentioned that, or you or whoever had wrote it had mentioned that it's good for establishments that have been around for a long time to kind of get reacquainted with regulations and customs and all of that. So is that something that has actually changed a lot in recent years, or
I mean I think it's very important that all food establishments come and get informed, because there's the food code changes every so often. So when we do our inspections, it's based on the food code. So if there are any things that have changed, it's a good time to come and get updated about those items. And then we, like I said, every year we do something different. We talk about different topics. So last year we talked about pest control, and people loved that because they needed to know what to do and what to be looking for. So
a lot of big topics coming up there at that workshop on April 22nd. I would imagine meat prep is a very common topic that's discussed at some of these. Any topics that you think maybe people don't think about as much that get discussed here, or you think maybe merit discussion at a workshop?
I mean, a lot of it is, I think record keeping is a good one. I'm going to be kind of touching base on emergency kind of preparedness when it comes to restaurants this year. And then every year we do talk about the top violations that we've seen for the previous year, and kind of discuss hey, we've seen this a lot, so let's talk about how we can avoid these violations. So our goal is to kind of educate the community about food safety when it comes to violations. That way they're not, repeated multiple times.
So that, again, happening April 22nd at the Uni of Illinois Christian County Extension Office. Do you have a time for that?
Yes, I'm sorry. It's we have 2 sessions. One's from 9 until noon, and the other one is from 1 until 4.
Okay, so you've got that look forward to in April. So we got the food workshop now. I want to turn our attention to something that's come up a little more recently, and that has to do with boil orders. We've seen a couple of those in Taylorville and in the county in the last few months. I know we've had stories about them on air and online. What do you have to share about those?
So like I said, with the workshop, I'm going to kind of touch base on this too. But it's important for people to be aware if there is a boil order. There's a lot of work being done on the water infrastructure, so anything can happen. We do post on our website, on our Facebook page, when there is a boil order. And when it comes to food establishments or people who are serving food to the general public in our county, we will contact those establishments to let them know, because there are certain things that you have to do to make sure your water is safe. Some of the things, you have to have safe potable water to serve to the community. So people don't really think about certain things like coffee machines, soda machines, ice machines. Those all have to be turned off unless you can get a supply of water for a safe water supply for them. We want people to boil their water for a rolling boil for at least 1 minute before they use it. Another topic for food establishments is you have to have safe water to wash your hands. You can't wash your hands with contaminated water. So being prepared for an emergency is crucial. And I don't know if a lot of people think about that. And, you see it on the news like, oh, we should have been prepared. We should have been prepared. So this is kind of, when I talk about this at the workshop, it's going to be about, let's make sure you guys are prepared in case there's an emergency. Something comes up, we know what to do.
So yeah, being proactive instead of reactive sounds like the goal there, and so it sounds like that's being tied into the workshop. Now there has been some construction in recent weeks, and it's going to continue to be the case in Taylorville. Has that contributed at all to the boil orders, or is it something else?
I mean, it's like I said, anything's possible, right? I mean, they could completely do the construction and without any error, but things happen. A pipe could get burst or something, and then it's very important that not only that we are communicating to the public, but like those people like the water department, we are kind of keeping communication with each other so that we keep everybody informed, and they're pretty good about it. So I'm pretty happy on that.
Yeah, well, a good communication there around the boil orders. Joe, anything else you want to add about that, or the workshop, or anything else before we turn our attention to Ellen?
No, I think that's about it. I do want to say that with the boil orders, also remember that after the boil order has cleared, that there are some steps that you have to do. You want to make sure you're running your water through the system before you start serving again. If you have wells, if it comes from a well, you want to sanitize your well. And we have all this guidance available. So if anybody's interested, please call us 217-824-4113, and we'd be happy to assist you.
Yeah, now I see why, because with a couple of the boil orders, they affected only residences, but not restaurants. So
yes.
I imagine, I certainly feel for the residents, but there's probably a big sigh of relief breathed there for the restaurants and the businesses as a whole in terms of those boil orders. Well, Joe, thank you for all that. I do want to return our attention now to Ellen to talk about a couple big topics. So one of the things you mentioned was the Medical Reserve Corps. Talk a little about that, if you're involved in it at all, and what that's like.
So our Medical Reserve Corps is our volunteer unit within Christian County that helps us organize and utilize local volunteers who want to donate their time and expertise to prepare and respond to emergencies and to support ongoing preparedness initiatives. Yeah,
so the Medical Reserve Corps has that purpose. Talk about what it takes to join. If you have to have like any sort of qualifications, what's that like?
So we include anyone as our volunteers. You do have to have a background check, but that's really the only thing we ask. Our current group involves medical personnel, public health professionals, veterans, and other community members who just want to assist the health department in emergency preparedness training and exercises, disaster support, medical surge support. One of the main things we do is our community vaccine clinics. We did a couple of those back in September and October. And then we keep planning more things and keep trying to figure out what else we can do to help benefit the community.
In terms of how to benefit the community, is there a way that you're like getting feedback from what community members want, or how do you kind of make those determinations?
So part of it is just whenever we get any information in regards to, hey, we need assistance with this, and that. Part of it is from the health department. We couldn't do our vaccine clinics without the health department, and our MRC members pass out the paperwork, help guide volunteers through the drive-through, as I like to call it, in order to get those vaccines, and just being able to be a little bit proactive when it comes to community preparedness is our main thing that we try to focus on.
Nice. So then, like, if I, like, let's say I were to join the medical reserve corps, like, what's the time commitment like? Is that, how, flexible do I have to be to, kind of make it work logistically?
Yeah, you can volunteer as much or as little as you would like. We actually have a general/planning meeting February 21st at 10 a.m. held at the Christian County Health Department. And we're just going to discuss some of our plans and upcoming events for spring. But when it comes to volunteer work with the MRC, we're going to try to continue to grow our unit. But when it comes to the actual time commitment, that is totally up to the volunteer themselves.
Okay, so and this is stuff that's like kind of scheduled out in advance, and then people can say like, yeah, I can go to that one, or no, I can't go to. Okay, I guess when I envisioned a medical reserve corps, I was thinking of something where, like, something comes up, and then on a moment's notice, maybe someone has to step up. And I was going to say, yeah, not sure I'd be able to do that, at least not from 8:40 till 10 on weekdays. But no, that's nice that you sort of have that flexibility for volunteers, and you're able to get folks involved because, people have different schedules, as you'll understand, and then that's a little bit more difficult. Anything else on the medical reserve corps you wanted to talk about before we go to break?
Not that I can think of. Just if you are interested, you can call the health department or show up February 21st to that planning meeting, and we will welcome you with open arms.
February 21st, and that's happening at the health department's office?
Yes.
Okay. Health department hosting that one again on February 21st in terms of becoming a medical reserve corps. Well, I've been talking with Ellen Jackson, emergency response coordinator, and Joe Torres, the director of environmental health at the Christian County Health Department. Let's go to break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation with them. We've got other topics to get to right here on the WTIM Morning Show on your information station.
Your information station. WTIM.
The Lady Tornado basketball team are on 96.5 thechill.com again this season. Listen on air or online for Lady Tornado basketball and playoff games brought to you by the Taylorville Community Credit Union, the Christian County YMCA, Rural Rentals, and Scooters Coffee.
The purple and gold are coming your way. The Taylorville Tornadoes are going to do it today.
$1,867.
That's how much you save on a brand new furnace and AC from Jansen's Heating and Air.
That's 7,467 quarters.
We negotiated a rock bottom price on a warehouse full of fully warranted, high efficiency furnaces and air conditioners.
But instead of keeping the difference, Jansen's is giving you the rebate of $1,867 or 37,340 nickels.
Sure.
These are brand new factory fresh comfort systems, and they're flying off the warehouse shelves.
When the last one's gone, this offer is too.
And yes, they will sell out.
Save $1,867 today at Jansen's Heating and Air.
That's 186,700 pennies.
They're not making pennies anymore.
Oh, right. Save 280,000 yen on your...
Just stick to dollars.
Fine. Save $1,867 on your new complete comfort system from Jansen's Heating and Air.
That's better.
JansensHeating.com.
Your locally owned Scooters Coffee at routes 29 and 104 in Taylorville are proud to be the exclusive sponsor of the WTIM Tornado Give Back promotion. Scooters Coffee will donate the following to the Taylorville Sports Boosters. For each Tornado varsity football touchdown, they're donating $10. For each three-point shot in varsity Tornado boys and girls basketball games, they're donating $3. And $5 for each home run scored by varsity baseball and softball team. The 22 local Scooters Coffee Taylorville, thank you for your business. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast.
Hi, I'm Mark Sanders, and I'm your longtime host, interviewing Shelbyville and Shelby County community and business leaders every week. For some 10 years, WTIM, your information station, has originated its Friday morning show live from our downtown Shelbyville studios. Tune in on AM or FM or online every Friday from 8:40 to 10, brought to you by these great sponsors.
Family Drug, The Villas of Hollybrook, Shelbyville Manor, and Corner Copy sponsor the WTIM Shelbyville Morning Show.
Hi, this is Will Perkins with Taylorville Community Credit Union. Find out about all the products and services we provide by clicking our icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Winter's coming fast. Don't face it alone. Get on the waiting list now at Taylorville Estates Assisted Living, 705 South Houston. As winter weather hits, make the call and don't fall. Click their icon today at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
WTIM.
And this is the WTIM Morning Show on your information station. We're sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first and landmark of Taylorville. I'm Reed Kamai, and I continue my conversation with Joe Torres, the Director of Environmental Health at the Christian County Health Department, and Ellen Jackson, the Emergency Response Coordinator, also at the Health Department. And we were talking earlier with Joe about the upcoming food workshop and boil orders, and then with Ellen before the break about the Medical Reserve Corps. So now we want to turn to a topic that has a pretty big deal of importance locally, and that is involving Narcan. And there's some news from the Christian County Health Department. Tell us about that.
So Christian County Health Department received a grant from the Sangamon County Health Department to provide Narcan and Narcan training to individuals who are interested in receiving the training and Narcan for public or private use. Carrying Narcan is a life-saving measure, and it allows bystanders to immediately reverse an opioid overdose. And as some of you may know, libraries are now required to carry Narcan and ensure at least one staff member has the proper training to recognize and respond during an overdose.
So one staff member required to do that. Now, if you have like one staff member, that they might not be in like the entire time the library is open. So is that? So I guess the question I have just to clarify is, do you have to then have like multiple ones if the one staff member is like not in all the time?
That is up to the library's own discretion. We at the health department will offer training to all staff members if they are interested. We are able to just be contacted, and then we will set up a date, and whoever wants to show up to receive Narcan training is able to.
Nice. So Narcan training going on there, and it's a big deal, right? Because we've had a startling number of these instances where Narcan would make the difference, or maybe has made the difference in saving a life. I know this wasn't talked about a whole lot when I was a lot younger, but it is now, and now you have the training there. So you mentioned libraries. I would imagine you have plenty of them at the health department as well. Where else can people go to find Narcan or figure out where it is?
So on our website, we actually have a map available with locations and facilities that carry Narcan then they hand it out to the public. We are still updating that map with a couple more facilities as we provide Narcan to these places. But and in the Christian County Health Department, we actually have Narcan available in our lobby, in the west side of our building in a Narcan box available 24/7, and in front of our new vending machine outside our front entrance that is also available 24/7.
And I remember you folks, it wasn't the two of you, but your colleagues at the health department were talking about that vending machine, and I think it's really valuable that you have that there. Well, I'll tell you what, we have about a minute left. Ellen, is there anything else you'd like to add about Narcan or training or anything like that before we go?
Yeah, I mean, Narcan is useful for anyone to carry. It's not just for certain people, it's for everyone. I mean, especially with people who have opioids in the home that they use for pain medication, and especially if they have children present. And if a child accidentally ingests it, you can use Narcan to reverse the effects of that overdose. Those who work in the community can carry it. First responders, anyone can truly carry Narcan.
And these are strong medications with which this happens. So it seems life-saving. and that's how it's been. So I think it's great that you folks have that. That again, Ellen Jackson, Emergency Response Coordinator, Joe Torres, Director of Environmental Health, both with the Christian County Health Department. Thank you both so much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
And it's been a pleasure to have you in. And this is, of course, the WTIM morning show on your information station. Stay tuned. We'll have one more conversation coming up in about 10 minutes right here on WTIM.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. The FAA has reopened the airspace